Number 11 that's required for the LMEA Middle School All-State is a really great piece. First of all, a couple things to notice. Tempo de bolero. This means that the tempo should be like the bolero dance. And that's usually somewhere between 96 and 104 beats per minute. Remember that LMEA has actually asked for this to be at metronomic marking 100, so check that with your metronome and make sure it's right about there. Also notice that there's a leggero marking at the beginning of this. That means to be light and nimble, so it should just kind of bounce and move along as if it was a dance. A couple things to point out here, specifically at bar 9, there's a legato marking, so this should be very smooth here. There's also a number of dynamic changes. You'll notice at the beginning we start piano, there's a crescendo in the third bar, and then there's this diminuendo that's very quick back into piano. So this is not a huge push forward, but it's a little bit of an increase and a little bit of a takeaway. Those things sort of happen all throughout this, and then there's quite a large crescendo into the second double bar on line number 4, and that should be going up quite a bit, and then a very dramatic drop to piano. Also at the end, there's quite a dramatic crescendo all the way into fortissimo as well. Trombones, there's a couple of things that you can watch out for in here that will help, including when we get to the third line in the 4th bar, the 16th notes can actually be played the G in 4th position and then the F in 6th position, and that allows for a smoother transfer rather than going 4th to 1st. It can be, and that allows for a little bit smoother legato transition there. Also watch out for some of the accents, and some of these accents with staccato markings. So there's separation between the notes, but there's a hard front to each note. And that should give you a good start on this. Enjoy playing it. This is LMEA All-State Trombone and Euphonium audition. This is number 13 out of the Rubank book. And there's a couple things to watch out for here right at the beginning. First of all, LMEA is asking for a quarter note to equal 80, so metronomic marking 80. And so check that and be sure that you're right about there. It feels a little on the fast side maybe, but that's the goal tempo. The tempo that's marked is andantino grazioso. So this is a graceful, slightly faster than walking tempo. And also we see at the very beginning that we have dolce marked, which is a sweetly marking. It should be kind of characteristically sweet, lullaby-esque. Should be able to flow. There's a few different dynamic markings in here, including some crescendos that help assist some of the range issues, so that should be helpful. And then on the third line, I think it's worth pointing out that there's 2 bars that have grace notes. Now, these grace notes have a couple different ways of being able to be played. I think the way that they're written, it shows that these grace notes should be on the downbeat of each of those bars. So I'm going along 1, 2, 3, 4, ba-da-da-da-dee-da-da, for both of those. I think there's an argument to be made that these could be played before the beat. 1, 2, 3. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, with the eighth note then being on the beat. That's maybe kind of something that should be personally chosen and deciding kind of how to follow the music in that way. I think another thing to be just aware of here is there's a couple of places where there's F sharps marked. So watch out, euphoniums 2 and 3, trombones, that's 5th position. There's also a C sharp, also 2 and 3 for euphoniums, and 5th position for the trombones. Make sure that those are in tune and that they really come across. And then kind of the final thing that I would mention is some of the different ways of breathing. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take 4-bar breaths, 4-bar phrases at the beginning. So I play 4 bars, I take a breath on the quarter rest, I play 4 bars, I take a breath on the quarter rest. Then I try to take a little bit longer of a phrase. I take another 4-bar phrase, get through the grace notes, and then a shorter phrase, 2 bars plus a beat, 2 beats, and I breathe after the F on 6th partial, and then try to finish off that phrase. So you can hear that in the recording, and hopefully that helps. The final thing I'll say is that the 4th line, there's an F in the 2nd bar, and that F is on 6th partial, and it needs to be lowered just a little bit. So trombones, instead of playing 1st position all the way in, you can play 1st position out just that much, right? It's not even showing the inner slide, just a little bit from there to there. And euphoniums, you may need to lower that just a little bit so that it's really in tune with the rest of that line that's before it. I hope this helps, and I hope you enjoy playing it.